Penguinzo says
The
Twitch is
title's not
dead.
clickbait. There was a new policy on Twitch that was announced today that will legitimately destroy the platform, with the majority of streamers choosing to go elsewhere if it goes into effect. Now, this was announced like 3 or 4 hours ago, but I decided to wait a little bit to see what Twitch would respond with because the backlash has been considerable. Everyone is rightfully furious about this, and I just kind of wanted to let it all simmer, let Twitch kind of marinate in this witch's cauldron here and see how they would respond to all of it. So I went and played basketball, which is why I'm very sweaty right now, and I've just got home, and it turns out they did respond. I expected them to respond with something like,
Title is a clickbait? Okay, bro. I mean, look. First of all, Charlie played basketball before this, okay? That's how you know the severity of the situation. He came in sweaty, looking hot and bothered, okay? But what I will say is, yes, if Twitch implements what they're talking about, if Twitch implements what they're fucking talking about, then it is, you know, it's massively, it's a massive issue. It's a massive problem. I don't know if it would cause the end of Twitch, but it would make the platform worse overall. Okay, certainly. We'll get to it. I'm sure Charlie will cover it. I need to grab a jacket. I'm
our
cold.
sincerest apologies. Earlier this afternoon, we were coming down with a severe case of big fucking idiot disease. Turns out one of our employees replaced our water with plutonium and stupid juice, so we had radioactive brain rot when we came up with this idea. We're scrapping it. We're sorry. That's what I expected. But they went in a different direction. They went with a very pathetic attempt to save face and backpedal. So we're just going to go over this whole situation from top to bottom here. It was revealed today that Twitch has put sponsored content and branded content in their crosshairs to try and fucking slap. So formats permitted with the new guidelines on branded content on Twitch are logos on stream, so branded overlays are limited to 3% of screen size at most. So any branded overlays can only be 3% of screen size. That means like if you have a G Fuel sponsorship or something, you can only have like G Fuel in the 3% of your screen area. You can no longer have burned in video ads, meaning you can't play like your own ads during it or ads of another brand that's working with you. You also can't have display ads, so like banner ads, which is a big one because a lot of sponsored game streams require banner ads, which completely removes that, which is a huge hit to most streamers. We'll get into the specifics in a moment. And then you can't have audio ads played during streams. Now they clarify what is allowed, which is branded panels on the channel page or showcasing products in the stream background or links to other sites that promote things, discussing, endorsing, or unboxing products, and playing sponsored games. The last one's a little silly considering that when you play sponsored games, part of that package almost always includes at least one of the things that is now forbidden with the new policy changes they're toying around with. Now all of these are huge changes. A lot of streamers have talked about this. I've talked about this. The vast majority of revenue.
I recall before the parasocial era, Twitch viewers were calling for a limit on how much screen space was occupied by advertisements. I've literally never heard that before. I don't understand why someone would have an issue with that. The 3% advertisement is specifically about like, you know, it's usually like an ad placement, right? That's how big it normally is. But it's dumb because like no one really abides by that because you just resize it on your own. Like this is, I don't know what percentage the Kaya Cam is occupying right now. I don't know what percentage the Kaya Cam is occupying at this moment. I don't know what percentage the Kaya Cam is occupying at this moment. You know, that kind of thing is like really fucking silly. Now, there used to be an anti-shill mentality. Okay, that makes sense. Like being anti-advertisement makes sense. I'm sure that there was like a point where people were like, "Oh, I don't like that." I know that doesn't matter. You want to know how I know that doesn't matter? Not a single one of those like old school Twitch watchers will ever praise someone like myself for not really having any sponsorships whatsoever that I deliberately keep that way. So ultimately, I'm pretty sure that is irrelevant in this conversation. That those days are long gone, and even then, it doesn't really matter. I think most people are frustrated by the ads that come at the top of the hour, the 3-minute ad break, for example, which comes at the top of every hour. That's what people are upset about, like unskippable ads, which I think is an issue. Now, of course, if you want to skip those ads on this broadcast, you can subscribe for $5 or for free with the Twitch Prime or by getting gifted a sub. I have fallen off. I am hemorrhaging subscribers, apparently, according to some of my haters on Twitter who have been paying closer attention to my subscriptions than I have. But here's the 3-minute ad break. Now, regardless, I think I'll be all right. So, yeah. Please subscribe so I do not fall off. Okay. So, where was I? As far as Twitch's sponsorship changes goes, it's already in the fucking terms of service, but them putting this out there makes it seem like they're going to actually follow through on it. It's in the YouTube terms of service, as Mogul Mail also brought up yesterday. Okay. Sayrar, thank you for the 5 gifted. Flucky, thank you for the 10 gifted. Now, bring back sub count. My sub count is public. You can see it. You just need to hit !subs and it will tell you. There you go. Or !sub count and it will automatically tell you how many subs I have. So, Twitch made this ridiculous announcement in the middle of the night, as they usually do. Okay. And obviously there was a lot of backlash around it, but I don't really care from the perspective of what watchers used to think about ad space or whatever. I look at this as someone who is only talking about it from the perspective of a content creator generating value for the platform and what the platform's decisions mean for said content creators and why they are taking this action against the content creators. Twitch is trying to siphon more money from their content creators, okay? That's it. That's the only reason. It is absolutely unbearable to have this conversation over and over again with people who are hitting it from any other angle. This is what companies do, okay? Twitch is owned by Amazon. Amazon wants Twitch to be profitable, and instead of finding unique ways of expanding into a broader audience base with marketing initiatives and new products that you are releasing, instead of finding new mechanisms for monetization, Twitch has decided to do what companies have done time and time again. Milk the workers. Now, of course, it sounds funny when you say workers because, work omegalol, job omegalol, you're a Twitch streamer. I mean labor and work strictly from who is generating the value sense. It doesn't mean that Twitch streamers are working in the fucking coal mines. Obviously not. We have pretty cushy gigs overall. There's obviously some negative sides to this job that many of us hide, but other than that, it's pretty good. You know, I've worked a normal job and I've done this, and let me tell you something. It's much nicer. I have a lot more autonomy. Okay. So, as I was stating, Twitch popping off like this is a tale as old as time itself. You have a larger company that owns you, that decides to squeeze you into becoming more profitable, and then that company tells you to make decisions. You panic, and you make decisions that actually end up harming the content creators because you're squeezing them for a little bit more value to get out of them, which ultimately makes... it's ultimately what Amazon does all the time. Twitch currently does not hold a full monopoly over the live streaming space, but is pretty powerful in the space. Its competitors have fallen off. They're either completely irrelevant projects like DLive, or they are, they've gone the way of default like Mixer, which was owned by Microsoft, or it's YouTube, and YouTube doesn't care too much about the live streaming space right now. So Twitch doesn't really have any significant, serious competition in the live streaming space, which is why they can get away with this, because what are you going to do? Go stream on Rumble? Are you going to go stream on Kick? That's usually what Twitch's mentality is in this space. Are you going to go to Facebook? You're going to go to Facebook Gaming? So a lot of these platforms have benefits and negatives. You know, they have positives and negatives, but ultimately there's a reason why I like to always say YouTubers like Cr1TiKaL, for example, still stream on Twitch for a reason. Cr1TiKaL has, 12 million subscribers, 13 million subscribers on YouTube, yet here he is not live streaming on YouTube. He's live streaming on Twitch. That is a very clear and very obvious benefit. That implies that there's a very obvious benefit to streaming on Twitch, okay? Whether it could be diversifying your revenue streams or whether it's because it's the best live streaming platform out there right now. Twitch knows that, and that is precisely why they make actions like this, because they think you can't really go anywhere. You know, good luck. This is where the audience is. This is where the revenue is. And, you know, you got nothing else going on. You can't really go anywhere else. Okay? So, he says that he's later trying to leave Twitch later in his video. That's fine. But I'm talking about right now as it stands. The reason why I'm talking about right now as it stands is because I need you to understand why Twitch is able to make these decisions. Do you get what I'm saying? Now, people might leave because of said decisions now, but the reason why Twitch thinks they can make these decisions is because of the things that I just mentioned. Do you understand? Do you get it? Okay. That's why Twitch thinks it has a damn near monopoly on the live streaming space. Chica4273, thank you for the 5-tier-1 gift.
A streamer generates is through sponsorships, whether it's sponsored game deals for like X amount of hours streaming a game, or just ancillary partnerships with other brands that you will promote during your stream. That's where the majority of streamers' revenue comes from. Like almost all of the top 500 streamers, that is their biggest driver of revenue. Subs and donations are a small part compared to sponsorships. So Twitch targeting that is like the only decision they could make that legitimately would drive all of their top 500 streamers elsewhere if they can no longer pursue partnerships comfortably on the platform. This is a platform destroying moment. This is up there with Tumblr banning porn, or that day that OnlyFans decided they were going to ban porn. It is it's Armageddon for the platform. This would sink Twitch, without exaggeration. Let's talk about some more specific examples. Tournaments, video game tournaments, or even just any general events could no longer function on Twitch because for those tournaments to exist, they have sponsors. And as part of those sponsorship packages, the events, like a Smash event or a Valorant event, are obligated to play those sponsored ads.
I'll pause this for a second and just say this. It is so insane that I didn't even for a second take this as seriously as every other content creator did. Well, one, I didn't because, like, I don't ever take any sponsorships to begin with. And two, I didn't take it seriously because, like, it's such a insane change that there is no way in hell that they would go through with this, because they would eradicate the one area that they actually dominate everywhere else on, okay, across the board. And that is live events. People still come to Twitch for video game releases because Twitch has drops. People still come to Twitch for live events because this is the live event platform. Okay? Sponsored, streamed live events is what people watch here. Esports is what people watch here. That's fucking nuts. That is so profoundly stupid. Like, there's just no way. There's no way that they would do that. Because it would literally be like taking a gun out and shooting yourself in the foot first and then in the head for no fucking reason, okay? You're not using the gun to shoot someone else. You're not using the gun to rob a bank. You're just killing yourself for no reason, out of nowhere. Makes no sense.
During the event, which has now entered Santa Claus's naughty list here on Twitch. It's illegal. You're going.
Do people really drink G Fuel or play World of Tanks? Lamau, Cry Me a River, top 500 streamers. Hee hee. Well, I'm in the top 500. I don't have a single fucking sponsorship. And let me tell you, a lot of people that are in the especially bottom of the top 500, or a lot of normal, smaller Twitch streamers, absolutely rely on the additional income to be able to consistently stream. And also, it shouldn't even be a limitation, because if you want to make if you are a professional streamer, if you're a streamer, okay, and that's the way you want to generate revenue, then it's ridiculous that a platform would stop you from doing that. Okay? Like, why is the platform trying to take away your decision power in how you want to generate revenue? Well, I know why. It's because Twitch wants to make more money. They want to be the ones who are the people responsible for selling you ads, so that they can take a cut off of those ads. If they were offering this as a purely voluntary way to do such a thing, then that's great. Maybe a lot of small streamers would maybe take advantage of the Twitch advertisement sales team. They wouldn't have to do any of the big business deals. They wouldn't have to do any of the red line. They don't have managers, let's say, possibly. And now they can use Twitch's legal team and all of its other offerings to be able to conduct these deals. They don't have an in-house sales team, so now Twitch's in-house sales team helps them out. If this was purely voluntary, then that's great. But it's not purely voluntary. As a matter of fact, this would be a gigantic limitation. Okay? Let's continue.
The fucking slammer, you're going to jail if you play a sponsored ad during your stream from these policy changes. So let's take, for example, Valorant. Valorant has an eBay deal. So during intermission in between games and Valorant broadcasts, they play eBay ads. Not anymore. Not anymore, Buster. You can't do that shit yet, you outlaw. Listen here, Bubba. No more of that shit. Now, there's something very interesting to note here is that YouTube actually has a similar policy that a lot of people are bringing up to compare the two right now. But Twitch's enforcement and the way that they spoke about it seems very different than the enforcement of YouTube. And from everything I've read, YouTube doesn't really enforce this policy even at all to begin with. It's just kind of there as a blanket in case things get exploited or misused.
No, it's a blanket in case YouTube, just like Twitch is doing right now, wants to extract more revenue out of their content creators. That's why it's there. Make no mistake. Maybe it has a secondary component to like ending some level of exploitation or whatever, or not, some like weird third-party ad service that's like taking advantage of the situation or something. I don't know, taking advantage of like content creators or whatever. But the real reason why is because they want to extract more revenue, not from the fucking consumers who are on the purchase side of the product, but from the contracted employees that aren't like full-time employees. They're content creators. They get a 1099 from ABC if they're at YouTube, or a 1099 from Amazon if they're at Twitch. Those are the people they are trying to squeeze in order to try and make the company more profitable.
But either way, there is something comparable on YouTube, but not nearly as egregious or as frightening as what Twitch is proposing. Now, when this policy change first got announced, we immediately tried reaching out to as many people as possible for some clarity, because the way that it reads seems like it's going to have a massively detrimental impact on our esports org, Moist Esports, thanks to the way we do our watch parties. And
our ABC alphabet, Google.
All the information we've gathered, it seems like we're in some fucking hot water there, which is not good. Opera GX sponsors our esports team, and as part of that sponsorship deal, during our watch parties when we're cheering on our teams, we play our own custom Opera GX ads that we made ourselves with green screen, like where I'm a pirate or a fisherman, those kind of really goofy over-the-top ads, we play those. But now that whole concept is more forbidden than human transmutation in Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. We can't do that anymore, which is a huge hit to our esports org, since Opera GX pays us under the expectation that we're also going to be doing those ads during our watch parties, which we can't do anymore. We also have a banner ad for Opera GX during the watch parties, which we can't use anymore. So the main two things Opera GX is sponsoring our esports org for has been banished to the fucking Shadow Realm. So what are they paying us for if we're to continue doing watch parties on Twitch? And it's entirely out of our control. It's not like we're choosing not to fulfill our obligations with Opera GX. Twitch just wouldn't allow us to, or else my channel would get banned on Twitch for doing so, I imagine. Now, Opera GX has been an extraordinary partner. I don't think they'd actually drop us for it, but they would have every reason to, because they wouldn't be able to get what they were paying for with our esports org and our watch parties anymore, because Twitch isn't allowing it in its current state, at least not as it stands from their first pass of this policy. It's just so fucked up. Now, it's not just, our esports org or, top streamers or anything like that. It's any streamer that would pursue sponsorships, which is a lot of them. Big and small streamers, all of them alike, do rely on sponsorships. And this hits everybody equally. It fucks everyone in the face all the same. It is an extremely greedy and corrupt, degenerate decision from Twitch. It is fucking disgusting. It's definitely worth mentioning that I have seen some arguments being made where Twitch might.
You're being biased. People have been leaving this platform because of their bullshit terms and conditions, and they ban people for literally as small as showing guns. Wait, I'm being biased. I haven't even said anything. Where's the bot? I don't even. What? I didn't even say. Now are you just imagining what I'm saying? Now what's happening? White guy one. Are you here from the future? Did you decide what I was going to say on the subject? That's interesting. Okay.
Follow YouTube's example here and won't enforce it strictly.
Yeah, by the way, I don't know if you know this white guy one, but I've shot guns on this broadcast on the platform and certainly on this broadcast. Hold on.
Might just reserve this policy for bad actors only. And I guess that is entirely possible, but there's just no way of knowing. We just have to wait and see how it all plays out. But there's very clear ways this could be implemented that hurts every single person who uses the platform. And personally, I feel the reason why they're even making this policy update in the first place isn't necessarily to follow suit with YouTube or something as like a fallback protocol in case there's bad actors misusing branded content somewhere. I feel the reason they're doing it is to try and push all their streamers to do everything through Twitch. Do all of their sponsorships through their sponsorship programs. That way they can get a cut of everything. That's how I interpret all this. That's how I feel the motivation behind it is misguided, it's mismanaged, it's completely lost, it's geriatric, it's run by octogenarians, it's out of touch, and it is desperate. It is desperately trying to get its grubby little fingers, just plant these little piggies in each pie that happens on their platform. And that comes right out of the streamer's income. We've already seen them do that with the sub revenue where they're dropping everyone to 50-50 sub revenue forever, non-negotiable. And now they're doing it for sponsorships because on Twitch, all streamers, a lot of them are doing sponsorships. And when they do, Twitch sees nothing from it. They don't get any portion of sponsorships done by streamers on their platform. And that makes them furious. They got steam coming out of their ears. So this is their attempt to try and force streamers to comply with Twitch's ad incentive program or their branded content program, such as like the Twitch Bounty Board. The Twitch Bounty Board works kind of like a sponsorship where companies have approached Twitch to do like sponsored game deals, and streamers can go into their bounty board, click and see what's there, and then choose to take a deal where they're getting paid X amount of dollars for X amount of hours. And if they do that, Twitch gets a large portion of that income. To me, It just seems like the direction Twitch is going is do everything through us or else. It's only
Yep. That's exact. Charlie is right on this. You have been biased. You have defended Twitch in the past. Also, just because you haven't been banned doesn't mean they don't ban others. White guy, once again, I have been banned more times than whatever content creator you are talking about. I am, out of the top content creators on the platform, probably the content creator that has been banned the most. I've been banned more times than even XQC. If I'm not mistaken, that's what we looked at, right? We looked at this like a couple months ago. I get banned a lot. So you're wrong. The reason why I still defend the terms of service in spite of its vagueness, and it's certainly something that needs a lot of transparency. The reason why I defend terms of service across the board, or like a rigorous application of the terms of service, is because I believe that that's good to create an environment that is more positive. I don't think that you should allow hate speech on your platforms. I think Twitch does a good job of at least combating that better than other places. Not doing the best job, but I don't think he's right that Twitch wants to take over sponsor sales. I think the reason why Twitch is doing this, and you can get on the call if you want, Ludwig. The reason why Twitch is doing this, I believe, is because they want to take over sponsorship sales and have an additional revenue stream. That's my speculation. That's my suspicion. But yeah, get in the fucking call right now. Get in the call right now, you right-wing content creator, you YouTube lover. Do it, coward. Why is your PFP Linus as odd? Hello?
Yo, how's it going?
Why is your PFP Linus?
I like his tech tips.
That okay. That's the reason?
Yeah.
Wait, how the fuck do I turn back streaming mode on? Oh, streamer mode. There it is. Okay. Enabled it. I was doing some stuff earlier and I had to turn it off. What's up, dude?
How you doing?
We haven't talked in a long time, and we even have something that we have lined up together potentially in the future. And
all
even
you
then,
care about these days is business, bro.
that's fucking insane. That's the only reason why you ever talk to me. So, or when I'm live, so you can fucking get some clout.
I'm talking to you right now. I'm talking to you right now.
It's true. Okay, so you did a mogul mail on Twitch's downfall. So did Moist. I watched your mogul mail yesterday. It was all right. It was pretty good. I mean, you're a bit of a jealous ex, I think, where you just immediately hop on anything that Twitch does wrong and immediately highlight it. But I respect that you also showed that YouTube does a similar thing in their terms of service, but they just don't follow through on it. But I do think that the main reason why they have that in the terms of service is, yes, so that they can potentially laser weird third-party applications or whatever. But most importantly, in the future, if they wanted to utilize it, they could, so that they could extract more revenue out of their content creators.
And it feels too fear-mongery. It feels like a very convenient reason that, like, to bandwagon against Twitch. I think Twitch does a lot wrong. I just don't foresee a world where they're going to hire the staff that would be necessary for sponsorship opportunities for their, thousands and thousands of streamers. I just don't. I think like you could maybe make an argument that they're trying to limit sponsors or like reduce the scope of individual sponsors so that their media sales do better. Because
you mean like, yeah, you mean they're like internal team that sells ads that whenever you click on your advertisement in your portal,
like
potentially
there's some sort of concern on media sales because they reduce the amount of categories that you're allowed to sell individual sponsors on. Like they basically killed stake sponsored gambling in this update, which people haven't talked about, which was allowed. Like Dan Clancy even clarified on the VTuber stream that you're allowed to do sponsored gambling if it's through an American site, but then this has killed it. So I think
GG's for Cr1TiKaL, it seems.
Curaçao's fucked on this one, which is tough.
Yeah.
But I think there's a big difference between like the media sale, which is like the ad you see when Hasan runs his top of the hour ad break, and then a sponsored sale. They require very different people. It's very different.
I know. And it's a lot more lift too on the sales team side, because like you need to basically create media decks for like thousands of content creators, which is impossible to do. More than thousands of hundreds of thousands of content creators that you would have to do media decks for. You're not going to be able to do that. So and I suspect
isn't that. I think a lot of people are like, that's bounty board, but that bounty board is like a way to scale sponsored deals, but it's purely based off metrics, and there's no like bespoke relationships. There's no deeper deals. There's no larger deals. It's just like, what is your viewership, and you get paid based off your viewership, which is a lot different.
I think Twitch is trying to. Okay, here's what I will say. when Twitch limited the 50-50 subscription revenues down to 50-50, when they whittled it down to 50-50 for every single streamer, with certain very few exceptions on the platform.
Yeah.
They did that, and I know this 100% through firsthand accounts. They did that because they wanted to generate revenue for the streamers themselves through advertisement. They wanted to push people to do more ads, okay? They were like, if you can have a sustainable Twitch stream without running a single fucking ad on the platform, then you have a tremendous amount of inventory on the platform that is currently not getting filled with ads, okay?
Yeah.
So that's the reason why they pushed on certain areas and then pulled on certain areas so that they could not neatly, but very abruptly and very aggressively guide you to change your revenue structure as a content creator. Okay? That's why they did that, 100%. It's not that subscriptions are a gigantic revenue generator for Twitch or anything like that. That's not the reason why they did that. Okay?
Yeah.
Bro, they did it for the streamers. Now you're bugging. No, they did it to force streamers. It's not a good thing.
Yeah,
especially from a consumer side.
For the streamers, for their benefit. He did it to make the streamers do an action that makes the lift of becoming a profitable streamer not on Twitch, but on the streamer. They want to, I think, become a profitable company, and they want all the onus of making money to be less on Twitch's side. So, let's not pay somebody $10 million to stream on this website anymore. Let's not pay.
I mean, they haven't been doing that for years now. Let's be real.
Yeah, I'm saying these are all parts of the steps that they're taking towards making creators more reliant on sources outside of Twitch for money, and then only making sure that all the sources of money from Twitch are profitable for Twitch too.
Yes. However, what you're saying right now completely contradicts with the recent actions taken by Twitch, which is directly shutting off one source of revenue generation for content creators on the platform if they follow through on it, which I don't believe they will, because it's insane, because it would actually eliminate sponsorship based events and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think everything they've done and the faith that Twitch has gained, which is zero with everybody, would lead you to naturally believe hey, based off these rules, this is what you're going to do. You're going to shut off all sponsors. You want it all for yourself. You greedy fucks. You just want to make more fucking money, and the streamers get the short end of the stick. Which I think is fair to think based off what they did. I just think that Twitch is a little smarter than people give credit, just a little, and wasn't planning on doing that. They just had a very similar terms of service to YouTube so that they could act on it when there are certain partners that are actually being damaging to their business.
Except it never really changed. The terms of service, I don't think, changed it, but they basically reconfirmed it. I'm not entirely certain, but I'm pretty sure this stuff was already in the TOS, just like it is in YouTube. It's just that them re-highlighting it with some differences as well made it seem like they are going to follow through on this.
I think they had made some changes. I think they will follow through for specific entities that they're they have on maybe a shit list. I don't think it's meant for targeting individual creators or targeting creators as a whole, but there are certain agencies that are doing deals at large that are basically cut and dry across the board.
Streamlabs and other big agencies would be considered third-party agencies, but then you're then you're talking about Loaded. Then you're talking about even, you could technically say my management company, Night Media, is a third-party agency. I don't have a direct relationship with any of these fucking brands. It's all being done. And whenever I do an ad stream or a sponsor stream, which is rare, it's oftentimes not done because I have a direct and immediate relationship with the brand. I get it through, they reach out to my management, and then my management facilitates it.
I think there's a difference between Night Media, getting deals by, for specific creators by creating relationships, and Stream Elements, who have an overlay system that and a robust team of creators, and they can just slap on the overlays because of their tech, and then just sign a bunch of deals at large. Like I think there's a huge scale difference.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, like I don't think it's.
Well, the vagueness of the language implied that like this pertained to every single type of.
It could, right? It could. 100%.
And it's still even when they corrected themselves and said, "Oh, this is only for third party ad networks," it still opens itself up to like every single every single advertisement company, like any kind of like mediator.
100%. Yeah, I think the language was set in a way where they could get pretty much every streamer stripped from their sponsors. But the language isn't different from YouTube's language, and they don't operate that way. So I feel like it's just a business making that the language, so that they not so that they like make that their boundary, so that they can, but they can go that distance. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, here's another thing. TSM, Luminosity, 100 Thieves. You could technically consider that OTK. You could technically consider all of these ad networks because they do have display ads and banner ads and whatnot that run across every single one of their streamers because they cut deals that way with brands. When they're selling those deals, when they're packaging those on the sales side, they're showing impressions and views across their entire network of content creators. And then they're selling it that way as a big package. So that technically still falls under the third-party category.
And you think Twitch was internally concerned about that and wanted to stop that?
I don't know why they would be, because it's very stupid of them, unless they are absolutely seeing a lot of internal pressure from Amazon, and they're looking to, instead of do the tough thing, which is better marketing initiatives, better ways to like expand to a broader audience, try to remain more competitive against like platforms that are not immediate competitors, but still captivating a broad chunk of the user base, like the active user base online, like TikTok. Instead of doing all that hard shit that requires a lot of initiative, a lot of effort, maybe even a lot of money, they chose to basically chose to squeeze content creators by, like I said, trying to expand on their sales team, trying to maybe even utilize like Amazon's own personal AdSense style structure that they have for it.
I think there's like two things with the new, which has already been like hey, reworked, right? Like, didn't they already say they're going back on it?
Not necessarily. They only said that this pertains to like third party. This pertains to
backtracking.
Wait, no, they basically backtracked. A lot of people misunderstood what Dan Clancy was saying. They misunderstood it. I saw that everywhere where people were like, "Well, a week ago he said something. Dan Clancy said something in regards to like wanting streamers to make more money and engage in like revenue streams or whatever, right?" And that was a misunderstanding. He was not. That doesn't actually contradict with what Twitch's new decisions are with respect to its branded content guidelines. As long as you understand that like they are the ones who are going to be helping you get the new revenue streams. That's the way I read it.
No, I don't view it like that. I think there's what they were going to do with this new set of rules and what they could do. And I think what they could do is a problem. So I think the rules are bad just because outright what they could do could involve things like you're saying, stripping streamers away from their current sponsors and then making it go through Twitch and then them taking a cut. And that is like the big evil bully Twitch trying to get every single piece of the pie so they can get their greedy little share. And then what they were going to do, I think, is like target specific groups that internally they see as threatening. But I don't think that is individual creators. I don't think it's like TSMs. I don't think that's Loadeds. I don't think it's Night Medias.
I think that comes through Streamlabs. Like they probably want to like.
I do.
They want to take away services that are offered to like, smaller content creators, like what Streamlabs is doing. but I don't understand why they are trying to do that. I guess like technically it improves like the inventory that they're selling when there is no direct competitor in the form of a display ad or a banner ad when there's an ad running against it. Because when you go to Twitch has its own internal sales team that is selling and you know, purchasing a lot of you know, brands are coming to Twitch and purchasing inventory slots, right?
Yeah.
Every time I click you know, the run the ad, that's an ad that Twitch has sold, right? Against my stream. That is more valuable if there isn't something like a banner ad there that is directly in competition with the advertisement that you know, that the brand bought, basically. Like me having a Chipotle banner on the side of my stream would make it conflict with, you know, McDonald's purchasing ads against the entire platform.
Right. So get rid of sponsored sales, then media sales will do better. I think they put in guidelines to have like, I think they put in rules to make sure the sponsorships, you know, are minimal enough to not impact media sales. And I think that's why they addressed specific categories so that media sales wouldn't get impacted. Like I think they said no to any weed sponsorships. You know, so then they can go to Chipotle or whoever and say, hey, there will be no weed. You're good.
That part makes sense, but that also, like, that literally makes sense though. That's super normal. I talked about the TOS side, including like political sponsorships and whatnot.
But I don't believe that they were like, hey, we cannot have Hasan have a Starforge sponsor on his stream because then our Chipotle media sale is going to fucking tank. I don't think that actually is what they were going to do. But the language, they could do it. And so I think it's bad enough that the language could do that. Similar to YouTube, they could do this to me because I break the YouTube service, terms of service all the time with my sponsors.
Yeah.
But they don't. And I don't think Twitch would have. But they also have gained no faith amongst viewers or streamers. So everyone will just say that's what they were going to do. And I mean, probably get them to retract more than they might have anyway. So I'm chill with it, but I still fundamentally don't believe like what Charlie just said, where Twitch wants to get their dirty little hands into our pots where they didn't have them in before. Because I don't think they're going to build out. I don't think we're going to see a few hirings at Twitch to have a huge, robust sponsorship teams to actually get the value that they would be taking away.
I think there's a couple different. I do think that they're interested in that. You're right. The overhead, like the amount of money that you need to spend to be able to effectively launch an initiative internally for something like that is tremendous. Which is one of the reasons why it might not be the most like cost effective measure. However, I do think that they are interested in that. I do think that they are going for that. There's a couple different money pots that Twitch currently doesn't have their hands in. They originally have tested out initiatives, right, that can be a substitute, but if it doesn't work out, then they take more serious measures like this one. One of these is direct, like, native advertising that exists on your screen. One way to combat that, they did like the bounty system, right? But the bounty board was like not very effective. It's too difficult to create media decks for like every single top content creator. I've never, for example, ever been invited to the bounty board. I don't know if you were at a certain point.
The biggest flaw with the bounty board is the companies weren't really happy. Like, I think because it was really hard to track that the streamers were delivering on what you had to deliver correctly and not, you know, making the sponsor upset. Like the one that comes to mind is the Pokelaw's Dick Sporting Goods. Like Dick Sporting Goods was not happy. I don't know if you've ever seen that clip with Pokelaw's laughing his ass off saying Dick Sporting Goods. But he got paid out anyway. And so they would have to have a team of moderators deal with that. And I don't think they were ever able to get to a point where it turned out to be like worthwhile.
Okay.
I think they are interested in having a hand in sponsors, but you have to do it at scale. You can't hire a team to match. And I think like as it currently stands, there's no tech to make up for humans like your dude at Night Media talking to brands, making sure they're happy, and making sure the streamer delivers correctly.
Yeah.
They don't have a way to do that at scale, I think, at the moment.
Yeah, I agree. I think that is very difficult, and I think the other reason why they might be doing this is to just like, again, kind of similar to the subscription thing. Remember when I mentioned how like the 50-50 sub split was not done because they wanted to generate 25% more subscription revenue from like 100 to 200 top streamers, but instead because they wanted everyone to focus more on like fulfilling inventory that they've sold already in the form of ads. They wanted to forcibly change the monetization structure. And I guess the reason why they could do this is also because like this would, again, forcibly change the monetization structure for like the revenue generation structure for content creators.
A little bit more money. They cared about changing streamers' behaviors to run more ads.
Yes.
Wouldn't run ads.
Yes.
They sold all of their media sales for more ads, but they couldn't get the streamers to do them.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what I think. That's what I think.
I can bite on that conspiracy theory because they've done a lot of things to try to change behaviors to make streamers run more ads, even like just guaranteeing the amount of money you'll make, which is losing them money. So I think that makes sense.
Yeah. I think that's what it is.
Look,
and this would be another way for streamers to be like, well, I have to make up this revenue that I lost because I can't do like these direct like advertisement sponsorship deals. I have to run more ads on my inventory.
I think that is a behavior they definitely want. So I think that makes sense.
But and by the way, yeah, no, that is definitely like the subscription one. I know for a fact like that subscription change was 100% done to literally force content creators to change their revenue structure, like change the way that they are generating revenue to basically focus on running more ads.
So weird to think of streams as inventory. At the end of the day, every streamer's goal is to make you stay on this website longer, because the longer you stay on this website and the more attention we have from you, the more media sales they run against your attention. And you know, that's a sad way to think about it, but it is our goal. We have ulterior motives. Like we also like hanging out. I assume you like hanging out with your chat.
But I hate hanging out with my chat.
You like it. You actually would be so sad if you could never stream again.
Yeah, I would be. That would be devastating.
But our goal is your attention, and that's usually narcissistically our goal because, you know, we like it and it feels good. And then Twitch's goal, because the longer you're on this website, the more money you make for Twitch. And your attention's valuable, so make sure you use it wisely. And I see some L-wigs for my original take, which I think is fine too. I think it's easy to think of Twitch as the big boogeyman, and they've done a lot of dumb things. But I also think it's fine to think of it with a little more nuance and maybe think of like, okay, what is the universe where they're not just a bunch of, you know, chickens with their heads cut off, and what is their actual motive? Similar to the ad thing. Like that's a lot when you think of it that way, like when Hasan says it and he says that's real, that's what they were doing for sure. You're like, okay, that makes sense. You know, it's a little fucked up by Twitch, but now we understand the business reason why. I don't think Twitch's huge idea here was, hey, let's remove every streamer sponsor, also kill every single esports event, including league esports events, because their banners are bigger than what we are allowing.
Which is, by the way, like one of the remaining bastions that makes Twitch like more, Twitch remain like the dominant force in live streaming. Like that esports, you don't watch esports on YouTube. They tried it and it failed. They like bought.
But nobody thinks like. I mean, like maybe people do believe this, but like I just fundamentally don't believe that Twitch, with a single article uploaded at 4 a.m., decided to kill all of esports, because that's what it would do. It would just kill all esports.
Yeah, that's why you and I are in agreement. I don't think Twitch was going to follow through on this, like, which is why I didn't take it super seriously. Like I didn't think that Twitch would follow through on this in the sense that like they would follow it to a T. Like they would literally go after everything, including their own internal fucking products that they create.
But they could do it, which is also a problem. And so it's good that there was enough pushback that it seems like they're rethinking it, but maybe you're right. And the language was like, hey, we're doubling down. I'm not sure.
I think the language does imply that they're doubling down and just saying like, they're doubling down in the sense that like, I don't think that they were going to ever intentionally follow through on TSM and OTK and whatnot, unless they have like an internal team that they have built out. But if they don't have an internal team that they've built out, which I don't think they have. They did like mass layoffs recently.
Yeah, the business of hiring a huge team here.
Yeah. So I don't think they have like the bandwidth to be able to conduct an operation, which is why I thought maybe they were just like trying to eliminate Streamlabs as like the third party advertisement and not like Luminosity or TSM. However, there's one other component to the story, because there's another bracket that they don't have their hands in that they've tried to basically create a competitive product for that actually didn't work. What is that? Donations.
That was the most Tucker Carlson intonation you've ever dropped in your life.
Yes. Well, I'm trying to take over his time slot because, clearly I'm not allowed to be on Twitch anymore because of these changes. I love sponsorships.
You're talking about Bits.
What?
Bits. Bits is Twitch getting their hands in donations.
Yes. Bits is like not an effective way for Twitch to generate revenue, and it certainly did not stop people from utilizing, including myself, the dono options allowed, like the dono board on Streamlabs, right?
Yeah.
That's another revenue stream that Twitch wants to get into because, they can't really do that. The bits thing is not effective. So how do you work around that? Like, how do you created the product, people aren't using it, so now you have to find a different way. Maybe this could be another way to squeeze out Streamlabs.
Kill Streamlabs and Stream Elements in all their other products, and then they'll have to shut down. And then how are you going to get a donations page up?
Yeah, possibly.
Maybe.
I don't know if that, like, I'm just saying, I don't know if that's like 100% the thing that they want to do, but it's like one other way to like put a dent in their business.
Yeah.
Or they might actually literally come out and say you can't use third-party software for donations anymore. You know what I mean?
I think they would love to say that, but I don't think they would get away with saying that.
That's what I mean, which would be yet another problem for them. And right now, what they can get away with is entirely dependent on how much market share they have and how competitive they feel they are, even if they squeeze on the revenue generation side on behalf of like the streamers. Because where are you going to go?
YouTube, baby. Anyway, it's youtube.com/@Ludwig. A lot of content over there. We're covering news today.
Yeah, okay. You stop trying to farm my audience, okay?
We're going to talk about unions.
Okay, listen.
Love unions. And
there's one other component to the story that I want to talk about with you while you're here.
Okay,
before you leave. Okay? Yes. So the other side of this is we have some competitors in the space. These competitors are you got Rumble, which is a like Peter Thiel backed right-wing platform that I personally believe is like trying to move away from being like an exclusively right-wing platform, and that's why they're trying to make like content plays. They gave like a little deal to Miskiff.
0-1, right?
What's up?
They're trying to go 0. It was a Peter Thiel reference. Sorry, go ahead.
Okay. So they're trying to do that. You have some other irrelevant ones like DLive and shit, and then you have Kick, which I would normally also consider to be kind of irrelevant in the grand scheme of things, but we can't really say that because it's like created by or partially created by a very successful Twitch streamer. So like it's definitely in the public consciousness here. Numbers wise, it's just as probably not as bad as DLive, but like around there. You know what I mean? Ironically, they're giving more money to Amazon to even operate. Like they're operating off of literally the Twitch infrastructure that Twitch has set up. So they're basically paying Amazon to be a competitor to Twitch. That's how little Twitch and Amazon cares about Kick, right? But it exists.
It also would certainly be illegal, right? If you just don't provide service. Got to be some monopoly rule there, no?
I mean, I don't know. I don't know how if you're paying close attention to or not, but they don't really. The American government doesn't necessarily enforce monopoly rules, man.
Speak for yourself, sir. We have a functioning democracy.
Especially especially not when it comes to Amazon.
I think. I mean, I don't think the big streamers in Kick matter. Like, they're great, whatever. They good at their jobs, whatever. But like, it's been pretty proven that big people going to other websites doesn't make the website big. That's very tried and true. I mean, still re-sign me YouTube. Like, I'm doing great, to be honest. But what
You
matters
are you are
more?
one of the few people that has done well after a platform shift, though.
Give me a re-sign. But a lot of the small to mid-sized streamers is what makes up like I think a streaming website. So I think what Kick's got going is a 95-5 split. And the question is, how long can they sustain that? And the answer might be forever, because gambling money might just be that. Unless
Very
a law comes
crypto gambling is incredibly low overhead and like insanely high profit generation, which is why it could technically keep it sustainable almost permanently unless there's like actual legal restrictions that come down, or crypto tanks in general, which it does regularly, without them being able to like take it out somehow and convert it back to fiat currency.
Yeah, I think there were some goals to get a lot of like media sales for Kick. I don't necessarily bite on the idea that companies will jump at the opportunity based off the other like categories that Kick allows. It just basically, how much they have gambling and other stuff. But they got a shot. They got a shot more than anyone because they have a infinite bank account, it seems.
Yeah, currently it looks like that. I don't believe that they care about advertisement at all. Let's be real. And I think that it's like Kick as a platform is basically seen as like a marketing arm of stake.com.
Well, I think that's how we view it. And maybe internally, like the guy, Eddie, I think, who runs Stake might view it that way. But I think Train and probably some of the other owners and the operators like are in good faith trying to make it a legitimate business. Like, I don't think they are. Like, I think that is their job. And maybe like the people with the actual bread don't give a shit if it's successful, as long as it's advertising gambling.
No.
But
They give a shit of it being successful because they still want real eyeballs to like watch some of their top content creators gamble, so that they can like keep doing conversions. Like they still want people to go and gamble at their casino. It's not sustainable if there aren't real eyeballs on that platform that are going in, watching people gamble, and then also signing on the stake.com. Does that make sense?
You know what's sustainable?
What?
The Moist Moguls winning. That shit is sustainable. Have you kept up at all?
No.
Okay. That was
Wait,
really...
are they do they go to VCT?
You don't even give a shit.
Wait, do they go to VCT?
They're in a tournament right now with all the best North American teams.
Yeah.
They play tomorrow. If they win, they play against the South American teams, the Brazilian teams. If they win that, then they go to VCT.
So like there is a world in which like I will be hanging out with the Moist Moguls in Japan and you won't.
No, I would. There's a world where we are hanging out in Japan. They wouldn't be able to make it to VCT. Sorry, this year. It would be for next season.
Oh, okay. So would you still go to VCT just if they win?
I gotta go to VidCon, man. I got VidCon stuff.
Oh yeah, I forgot you're fucking YouTube Andy.
I'm YouTube Andy. I want to make sure I, shake some babies, kiss some heads at the YouTube meetup, and I can't go to Japan. I would like I like Japan.
I don't know. It seems like you don't
You're
really
the one who
love
flaked
it.
on my trip. Remember that? Remember when you flaked?
Yeah, remember when I decided like I'm the true Japan lover, so I wanted to experience it on my own and not, through the lens of Ludwig.
Genki desu ka? Yeah, so
Dude, you just fucking hell yeah, dude.
that's
did
just
it.
off the top. That's just off the top.
Here's what's happening currently though. I'm going back so soon. You went and you're not. So who's the real Japan lover?
Well, you know who's gonna be here when you're in Japan?
Who?
Connor.
I do know. I'm gonna be hanging out with him in Japan, and then after I come back,
He'll be here. He'll be hanging out with me. Connor,
yeah,
dog.
have fun. Have fun with him. It's okay.
I'll have a minute with him in America. I'll make sure of it.
Yeah, no, you guys have all the fun. Okay, you have all the fun in the world. It's cool. They'll probably be thinking about how much fun we'd be having in Japan.
Japan would be cool to go to though.
Like that night we shared in Kobe.
Okay, all right. Don't try to make me jealous. I'm not a
Yeah,
jealous.
I'm just saying, because that was like probably the greatest piece of content
Okay,
that's
dude.
been.
You know what? Actually, I gotta go. I got some work I gotta do today. All right.
Yeah, no, have fun
Yeah.
thinking about that now. Okay, thanks for coming on, Ludwig.
Twitch L, go YouTube, right? Woo!
Yeah. I was Ludwig, youtube.com/@Ludwig. Anyway, could Ludwig convince Cutie to go with you? Fuck no. Ludwig said he'd come if Cutie went, so I'm pretty sure he would love for Cutie to go so he could come too. All right. Anyway, so we talked about Twitch. Let's finish up what Charlie's takes are on the matter, and then we will move on from there. And I'll give you guys some more analysis.
It's been 2 months since they made this announcement where they're testing new experiences to connect streamers and brands through their sponsored streaming network that they're creating. So it just seems like since Twitch offers this program, it seems like this policy change was supposed to scare streamers away from partnering with brands outside of Twitch's ecosystem here, because Twitch doesn't make any money if you get a brand deal outside of this program, whereas if you use Twitch here for their sponsored streams, Twitch makes money from it. Twitch is really trying to monopolize streamers' income, and this is something Mr. Beast just mentioned on Twitter as well. Twitch just wants to make sure that if any money is generated on their platform, they get a piece of that pie. They want that cake. They're gluttonous, and they're willing to sink as low as humanly possible to get it. It's sickening. This doesn't just affect individual streamers. Like I mentioned, it affects anyone that wants to do events on their platform as well. So let's do another example. Smash tournaments. Smash tournaments rely entirely on sponsorship revenue, like a Papa John's ad or something like that. All of it. All of their money comes from sponsorships, which means banner ads, large screen built-in ads during broadcasts, and even just full commercials during their broadcasts during intermissions. All of those things are no longer allowed if this policy goes through as written. That ruins every single gaming event that happens on Twitch right now, and generally just every single event ever. So like a music festival. Music festival is another great example. Music festivals rely heavily on sponsors too. If you watch a music festival that sometimes get broadcast on Twitch, you'll notice they have their own built-in ads as well that they'll play sometimes, depending on which one you're watching. That's no longer allowed either. So should this policy be pushed through the gates of fucking Mordor here and make it to the platform, every single event organizer is going to leave Twitch because they legitimately will not be able to run on Twitch anymore if they can't play ads from their sponsors. And sponsors aren't going to give money to people or events if they can't have their brand be showcased, like with a banner ad or a normal commercial. If they can't get anything out of it, why the fuck would any of these brands sponsor anything on the platform? It's not going to happen. So all of the event organizers are probably going to go to places like Kick or YouTube, and I imagine most of the streamers will be going to other platforms as well, at least part-time. They won't fully invest in Twitch anymore because it's not safe or reliable to do so. Again, Twitch themselves have said, like, most streamers are getting most of their money through sponsorships, and now Twitch is hitting sponsorships. Like, they're reducing their ability to make money through sponsorships, like directly impacting them, even after recognizing how important that is to the ecosystem. So most streamers, there will be a mass exodus, I imagine.
No one's advertising on Kick. I mean, that's different though. There's two different kinds of advertising. One that like the streamer himself creates through a third-party sponsorship portal, like a third-party ad network, versus their own fucking manager or whatever, versus the advertisements that run alongside the content, like the 3-minute ad break at the top of the hour. When I press the 3-minute ad break service on the top of the hour, that inventory is one that is fulfilled by Twitch's own internal sales team. Okay. Now, if you don't want to see those 3 minutes of ads at the top of the hour, which come at the top of the hour, remember, all you need to do is subscribe, which you can do for $5 or for free with a Twitch Prime, or by getting gifted a sub like HasanAbi's Nipple or Blasted Save, which gifted 5 gifted subs in the community, allowing 10 people to no longer see the ads at the top of the hour. Here's the 3-minute ad break now. So when I run that ad, Twitch's internal sales team sold that. They sold it against inventory, against specific demographics, against specific taste clusters or whatever the fuck, right? They sold that. Does Kick have that internal advertisement team, or like are they working with a third party, advertisement sales team that they've outsourced to? I don't know. Will they be able to sell ads against Kick inventory? I also don't know. Is it likely? Probably not, because in order to have higher CPMs, okay, cost per mil, the higher, in order to have a more valuable inventory, you need to make brands believe that your platform is actually decent. It's sustainable. It's got, it's not going to run across like someone fucking talking Nazi shit. You know what I mean? It's not going to run across like actual pornographic content. It's not going to run across someone actually gambling. A lot of these things. Did you guys why is Ludwig saying cost per mil after I said it already? Okay. I was a fucking ad sales guy. I was a biz dev guy. I know what I'm talking about. CPM means cost per 1,000, but it's mil. Like the word is cost per mil. I got it right. Shut the fuck up. Mil in that sense just means 1,000 impressions. Okay. Anyway, shut up, nerds. I'm nerdier than you. Okay. So. As I was saying, Kick, with the way that it's seen to brands right now, is not exactly a wonderful space for Burger King to be like, oh yeah, I would love to run ads on content of a dude getting his dick sucked by like an OnlyFans girl. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think that's, especially with like every little thing that comes out of Kick, every piece of news that comes about Kick, anytime Kick gets a write-up, which it doesn't really get write-ups in like mainstream media anyway. It's often just getting write-ups in like Dixerto and whatever. Anytime they hit the SEO, okay? Anytime they hit fucking Google, a Dixerto article comes up about like a dude that's like sexually assaulting someone or some shit like that. No blue chip advertiser is going to want to fucking, buy ads on that inventory. Okay? That's not going to happen. So, for that reason, I don't think that Kick has like any kind of interest in building out a genuinely profitable and sustainable service. But like Ludwig and I were just talking about, they kind of have like a money faucet that is backed by crypto gambling, which has very little overhead and a tremendous amount of upside, a lot of profits. It's just pure profit. As long as like crypto doesn't completely tank, as long as there is no international regulation, as long as there's no American regulation on crypto and crypto sponsored things, Stake will keep Kick alive, because Kick is a source of marketing and a way to convert viewers into lifelong gamblers, whales. Okay? So yeah. Let's continue.
A lot of streamers have already said that they're going to do that on Twitter in response to this. So streamers are going to go to other platforms so that way they can continue to have these sponsorship opportunities. Like Twitch is really on the deathbed here. This policy change is the end of the platform if it goes through. Now, I've said this, I've been very open about it. When my Twitch contract ends, and I am doing my best to try and end it early, when it ends, I will be going to other platforms to stream, just to test them all out. I'll still be streaming on Twitch occasionally, but we can't even do our watch parties there anymore, which is a big thing that I love to do. So I would like to try streaming on YouTube, for example, which is why I turned on memberships on YouTube here, just in case. So it's one of those things where this is something that will destroy the platform. And Twitch must have recognized that, because they did put out a follow-up statement about an hour ago here. And I think it's trash. I think it is a terrible response. Today's branded content policy update was overly broad. This created confusion and frustration, and we apologize for that. We do not intend to limit streamers' ability to enter into direct relationships with sponsors, and we understand that this is an important part of how streamers earn revenue. We wanted to clarify our existing ads policy that was intended to prohibit third-party and networks from selling burned-in video and display ads on Twitch, which is consistent with other services. We missed the mark with the policy language and will rewrite the guidelines to be clearer. Thank you for sharing your concerns and we appreciate the feedback. We'll notify the community once we've updated the language. What a load of horseradish. This is some sour fucking mustard here. Basically just saying, we're sorry you misunderstood us. Yeah, we must use too many big words for your simpleton minds and it led to too much confusion, so we're sorry for that. We'll make sure to dumb it down into layman's terms going forward. When that's just not the case. It's not like you put out a broad statement that had a lot of misinterpretation or misconstruing of the information. You laid out pictures. Like, you literally made it as simple and specific as possible, down to exact percentages of how much it could take up on screen. 3%. That's not broad. Like, you specifically laid it all out with fucking pictures. Like, I don't know why they're trying to play this angle that it was just too broad and confusing and people misunderstood it. You made it clear what your intention was. I don't think there was any misunderstanding here. This is just a really sad attempt to try and save face, like, oh, no, we didn't mean what you guys are saying. No, we meant something totally different. Brother, you laid out a picture book of the new policy change.
Twitch, 73% market share, dead copium. No, the reason why Twitch is able to do these decisions is because of that market share, and it's really fucked up if they actually follow through on it. That's my angle on this conversation, is that, like, they see the 73% market share they have on live streaming across the board, and they think other competitors are irrelevant. They're either A, paying us like Kick, or B, completely irrelevant like DLive, or C, YouTube that doesn't care about live streaming all that much.
Changes. Like, it doesn't get more clear than that. Now, again, this is just very obvious backpedaling here, but at least just own it. Just be like, hey, guys, look, we fucked up. We're lost. We don't know what we're doing at Twitch, guys. Look, everything's on fire over here. Employees are getting let go left and right. Our CEO's 96 years old. He's a fucking fossil. Like, we just don't know what's going on. You know, we can't steer the ship correctly, so we fucked up with this idea. We're just desperately trying to get a couple more doubloons out of the platform and don't know how. Like, at least that would have been honest. As opposed to going down this path where it's like, sorry, it was confusing and you guys didn't understand us. And then the ultimate cherry on top of the shit cake is they still, in their response, don't explain what they're doing. They're still not explaining what the new policy is doing. They're just saying, okay, we'll rewrite it. Okay, but so what did we get wrong? What did we misunderstand then? The only thing they add even a little bit of clarity to is that it's supposed to target third-party ad networks. Like, I suppose there's some companies that have programs that will pump branded content onto some streams, and it kind of competes with Twitch's own built-in display ads. It's something I've never heard of and had to do some serious digging to find, because it's not exactly a prevalent issue on the platform from everything I'm reading, but there are a couple of companies that will pump their own ads onto streamers.
It's literally Streamlabs and Stream Elements. I don't know, like, if you want to, it's Streamlabs and Stream Elements that do it for, like, smaller tier and mid-tier content creators who don't have their own management, and that's pretty much it. Other than that, this technically still encompasses all of the esports organizations I mentioned, from Luminosity to OTK to 100 Thieves to even fucking Offline TV, if you want to consider that an organization that sells across their entire base of content creators, as and they use those numbers as, like, their overall inventory. We did it for larger ones as well, but that was before they built OTK. Yeah, Stream Elements do it. You have to agree to have ads on screen on your panels, stream a certain amount, etc. And even those campaigns can be pretty bad. Yeah.
Streams, like, burn in ads onto their streams. And when those pop up during a stream, that makes money for that third-party company, not Twitch. And sometimes the streamer gets a kickback from that as well, but it's not like a true sponsorship partnership deal. It's like a ad network having their own, basically having their own display ads on Twitch without it being Twitch display ads, if that makes any sense. It's very niche. Like, if that truly was what they were trying to target, this is a very overblown response and exaggerated reaction to it. They went nuclear on it with this whole song and dance they've made out of it. It's very clear Twitch wants to facilitate every sponsorship deal through their platform so they get a cut of it. They've announced, like, the ad incentive program, as well as they even have their own new branded content program to get sponsorships through them. And they get a portion of all of that. So they want to make sure that streamers are kind of coerced into using those programs so that way Twitch can get more money out of them, as opposed to having their own agents, their own managers, or their own connections to these brands to work directly with them, where Twitch doesn't see any money from those sponsorships.
How come for Black History Month you didn't change your profile pic to support that month? I'm curious. I'm just curious, genuinely asking. I don't think this guy fucking understands that this is literally me making fun of rainbow capitalism. It's not like real support. That's number. I know that's Aiden. I know this is Aiden's alt. Number two, you literally said the N-word on stream like last week. What the fuck is he talking about? Like talking about how curious he is. Not only does he have Nazis on his fucking stream regularly, not only does he refuse to fucking moderate his chat that absolutely hate him and literally every black person on the planet and say some of the most unhinged shit, he straight up said the N-word like literally last week. It's ridiculous. The idea that like, first of all, the reason why I'm not the reason why I did not change my PFP for Black History Month is because not a lot of corporations are doing Black History Month level rainbow capitalism. Okay? Ridiculous. Why are you answering this seriously? Also, this is our joke in the community about LGBT foes. Yeah, literally. This is like a joke, but, you know. How what the fuck would you make a PFP Black History Month theme? Put yourself in blackface? Like what? Yeah. What's his issue with you? You've been so sweet to him. I think that I think it's complicated. I think it's because like he's upset that I hurt his daddy. Okay. He's upset that I hurt his daddy, Andrew Tate. And also, I think he's cultivated a fan base of like fucking weirdos who straight up get off on, you know, saying like Hasan bad. He just wants validation desperately. And I think the only way that he can like get that kind of validation is from, you know, people that go, yeah, you're right, Hasan is bad. And as we know, in this community at least, the people that go, yeah, Hasan is bad, and like genuinely have these like unhinged, you know, permanent brain rotted opinions are like some of the biggest fucking weirdos, biggest psychos. He's trying to own the libs law. Yeah, literally. He's trying to do it in the best way he possibly can. You think Aiden realizes he turned himself into an actual lolcow? He was always a lolcow. He's just, you know, I think right now he's floundering because he hasn't been able to like really carve out a new type of lolcow. He even went after Kai just because he didn't sign with Kick. Yeah, I don't know why he's doing that kind of stuff. Yeah, we're gonna get to that in a second. We'll get to that stuff in a second because there's more to this story. Okay, there's more to the story, and there's more drama involved in this story, but we're not there yet. Let's finish Charlie's video real quick. I'm gonna go pee while this plays.
It's very clear why they want to do this. It's just a fucked up thing to do, and it ruins the whole platform by trying to implement this policy because no one's going to stay there. There's competition. Twitch isn't the only platform for streaming. You can go elsewhere, and many streamers will and are actively. Even with a full walk back here, and they like completely just eat shit publicly and say like, look, we're we're not going down this path anymore. Everything's going to stay the same. You can still do sponsorships, no problem. Even if they do that, the trust is gone. Most streamers are still going to look elsewhere because Twitch has shown their hand. They've shown their whole ass here. Twitch is more than comfortable not only taking money away from streamers' sub revenue, but just taking money away from streamers in general across the board, even on things they have no part in, which is sponsorships. Like, if a creator gets their own sponsorship, they should have full reign, full rights to do whatever they want with it when streaming. Twitch shouldn't be getting a cut of sponsorship deals that you yourself are getting, or your manager or team or whatever is getting. That is outrageous. That is such a fucking overreach, and it's disgusting. The greed has single-handedly destroyed Twitch. I don't know how it bounces back. Like, the reputation is beyond ruined. And like I mentioned, even if a full walk back on everything here takes place, I still see a ton of streamers streaming elsewhere. Maybe not full-time, but they'll dip their toes into plenty of other platforms just to try them out because it's not safe to commit fully to being on Twitch. There's no reason to be exclusive on Twitch anymore. That's just not something most people will want to do going forward, I bet. So yeah, I just want to talk about this a little bit. That's it. So, yep.
So there's more on this, okay? There's more to this drama because apparently, you know, because Twitch is like falling apart, realistically, there's no real alternative to Twitch yet. YouTube sucks for live streaming. Kick and Rumble are Nazi platforms, and none of them have viewership to support smaller streamers. Yes. So that's true.